Ciao e benvenuti su Italianissimo. I'm your teacher for today's lesson, so without further ado, let's begin. Buono studio.
Ecco,
Magari,
tipo comunque.
allora, cioè,
Ecco, magari, tipo comunque, allora.
cioè.
So what if I told you there's a secret to sounding authentically Italian that has almost nothing to do with memorizing more verb charts? Today, we're going to unpack a toolkit of just 6 small words. If you can master these, you'll completely change the way you speak, taking your Italian from something that sounds like it came out of a book to something that sounds like you grew up in Rome. You know the feeling, right? You've put in the hours, you know the grammar, you've got a decent vocabulary, but when you actually go to speak, it just feels, well, a little stiff. You've got all the pieces, but you don't quite have the flow. Well, what if you could finally close that gap? You know, start having those fluid, natural conversations that just sound like the real deal. The good news is, you can. And it's probably easier than you think. See, the solution isn't about cramming hundreds of new words. It's about mastering a handful of these powerhouse words that do all the heavy lifting. This is your conversational toolkit. It's small, it's versatile, and it's absolutely essential. These are the words Italians sprinkle into pretty much every other sentence. Ecco, magari, tipo, comunque, allora, and Cioè. Okay, first up in our toolkit is maybe the most versatile of them all, magari. This word is a true chameleon. It can be a simple maybe, or it can express this really deep, heartfelt hope. Let's dig into how it works. The real power of magari is that it has these 3 different layers of meaning. You can use it for just a simple possibility. You can ramp it up to express this huge, almost impossible hope. Or you can just use it by itself for a quick, kind of ironic if only. So first, magari works just like maybe or perhaps. Your friend isn't answering their phone. Why? Well, magari, his phone is on silent. You're just throwing out a simple possibility. It's a supernatural everyday way to say you're not sure about something. Okay, now let's dial up the emotion a bit. When you pair magari with a specific verb tense, the subjunctive for you grammar nerds, it expresses this really deep, wistful desire for something that feels just out of reach. This isn't just saying, I want to work remotely. It's more like saying, if only I could work remotely. It's just packed with so much longing. And finally, we have its most common use in just quick back and forth chats. Someone asks if you're going on vacation this year, something you'd love to do, but you know you can't. A simple standalone magari is the perfect bittersweet reply. It's a one-word answer that says, I wish, or, in my dreams, all at once. All right, our next word is tipo. I promise you, if you spend just 10 minutes listening to young Italians talk, you will hear this word constantly. Think of it as the Swiss Army knife of casual conversation. Its most basic job is to introduce an example. It works almost exactly like the word like or such as in English. You just use it to give a specific case of whatever you're talking about. I mean, saying I like desserts is fine, but it's a little general. But when you add tipo tiramisu, you're suddenly giving this delicious, concrete example. It just makes your language more vivid and helps the other person picture exactly what you're talking about. But here's its second and maybe even more common function. Tipo is one of the most popular filler words in Italian. It's the direct equivalent of peppering your sentences with like or You're just buying yourself a split second to think. Right here, tipo doesn't really mean anything. The speaker is just using it as a little pause while their brain catches up. The key is to find a balance. If you overuse it, you might sound a little hesitant, but if you sprinkle it in naturally, you'll instantly sound more like a native speaker. Our third word, ecco, is all about presentation. Seriously, think of it as a verbal ta-da. You use it when something or someone suddenly appears, or when an idea finally clicks into place. Think of ecco as a tiny little spotlight in your speech. You're searching everywhere for your keys. Ecco. Here they are. You're handing your friend their coffee. Ecco le caffè. A second ago it wasn't there, and now, poof, with this word, it is. One of its most powerful uses is when you combine it with pronouns. You get these super efficient little phrases. When you arrive to meet your friends, you can just announce, Eccomi, here I am. You spot your friend Maria across the street. Eccola, there she is. It's so quick, so easy, and so incredibly common. And it's not just for physical things. You can also use ecco to present a reason for something. The phrase ecco perché literally means here is why. It's the perfect way to connect a problem with its explanation. Like, I couldn't lock the door, that's why I was late. And now we have cioè. So if ecco is for presenting something for the very first time, cioè is for representing it with more detail. This is your go-to tool for clarifying, rephrasing, and just making sure you're being understood perfectly. At its heart, cioè is all about adding precision. It literally means that is, and it's basically a signal to your listener that says, hang on, let me explain that a little better, or let me be more specific here. This is a perfect example of what I mean. Saying, I go to Milan often is pretty vague. What does often really mean to you? Cioè lets you clarify right on the spot. That is, at least once a month. You're swapping a fuzzy idea for a sharp, clarifying, clear one. It's absolutely key for precise communication. And yep, you guessed it, just like Tipo, you'll hear cioè used as a filler word all the time. It's another one of those conversational lubricants, a little pause like cioèm, that people use to gather their thoughts before they continue speaking. And finally, we get to our conversational traffic cops, allora and comunque. Now, these two aren't just for flavor, they're the essential glue that starts, stops, and redirects the entire flow of a discussion. You could argue these are the most important words on this whole list. Okay, so these two words manage the flow of conversation, but in totally opposite ways. Think of allora as the green light. It gets things started. It's like when someone claps their hands and says, allora, so what's the plan? It also shows consequence. You don't want to come, so I'll go by myself. It's all about moving things forward. Comunque, on the other hand, is like the reset button. It can mean anyway or still, and you use it to just brush aside an obstacle. It's raining, but we're going out, comunque. It's also what you use to get a conversation back on track after you've gone off on a tangent. Comunque. Anyway, as I was saying, so one starts the engine and the other steers it back onto the road. And there you have it, your complete conversational toolkit. 6 little words that do a ton of heavy lifting. You've got Magari for your hopes, Tipo for your examples, Ecco for presentation, Cioè for clarification, and your 2 traffic cops, allora and comunque, to manage the whole flow. Getting a handle on this small set of words is a giant leap towards sounding truly natural in Italian. And this really leaves us with a final thought. Every single language has these secret handshake words. The conversational glue that you never find in the textbooks but you hear everywhere in real life. What are they in your native language? Thinking about that for a second really shows you just how vital they are. So now go out and listen for these 6 words in Italian, but more importantly, start using them. I think you'll be amazed at the difference it makes.
Ecco.
Magari.
Tipo comunque.
Allora. Cioè.
Ecco, magari, tipo comunque allora.
Cioè.